Hey, on this episode of the Coaching Business Mentor, I'm going to be sharing with you how to build a profitable coaching business around your job, your family, and other commitments. So, if you are a coach who is looking to build a business, but at the moment you're still working a job, you've got children to look after, you've got other commitments that you've got to pay attention to, you definitely want to plug into this episode. I'm going to be sharing a few things with you that will help you to build that successful business around all your commitments. See you on the inside. You're listening to the Coaching Business Mentor with DJ Sabanjo, the #1 business podcast for heart-led coaches who want to get more clients, serve more people, and make more money. Hey, and welcome to this episode of the Coaching Business Mentor with your host, DJ Sabanjo. I'm really particularly excited about this episode. Hey, I'm excited about every single episode that we do, but I'm particularly excited about this one because I know that what we're going to be talking about is relevant to about 95% of the coaches who will be listening to this podcast. And that is coaches. If you are a coach who right now is working a job, most likely a full-time job, you have a family, maybe you've got kids, or you've got any other commitments, then this episode is for you. I'm going to be sharing with you how to build a profitable business, especially if you have a lot of commitments that are placing a demand on you, which genuinely makes it quite difficult to build a business. But I'm going to be sharing with you a few things that you can do. And actually, I'm looking at this and I know that I can't get through this in one episode. It's probably going to take about 2, maybe 3, or even 4 episodes to get through this topic. So the truth is this: when most coaches get started in business, they have this dream. There's one dream or goal that most amazing coaches have. And that dream is to build this wonderful business that changes people's lives in a powerful way, but also funds their dream lifestyle. Whatever your dream lifestyle is, and you know what it is, you want to be able to help people because that's what drives you. You're heart-led. You want to help people. You want to change people's lives. You want to help people get from that place where they are right now to that place that they want to be. But you also have a dream lifestyle. And I don't know what it is. Certain places in the world you'd love to visit. You know, you want to drive a certain kind of car. You want to live in a certain neighborhood. You just want to attain a certain lifestyle through what you do as a coach. Now, even though this is true, the reality for many of us is there is a bit of a gap between where we are as far as our business is concerned and where we want to be. But that's okay. That's the reason why you're listening to this podcast. So you already have a life that places a demand on you. And this is the thing. Right now, your life is placing a demand on what I call your core resources, right? And your core resources are really 3 resources which are limited. Number 1 is your time. Number 2 is your money. And number 3 is your energy. Right now, life is already placing demand on these 3 things. But you need to invest these 3 things into building your business. For example, let's talk about time. If you're working a job right now already, that's about 40 hours a week, 40 hours of your time that you are awake that is invested into building someone else's business, into your job. Now, some people knock jobs. I don't do that. I don't knock jobs. And there's a reason why I don't knock jobs. Jobs are brilliant, among other things, right? A job gives you some stability. So the fact that you have a job means at least you have some stability month after month. You've got some income. You don't have to be stressed or worry about money. And that's a blessing. Another thing that a job gives you is an opportunity to learn and to develop new skills that you can use in the business marketplace. Another thing that a job gives you an opportunity to grow and extend your network on someone else's dime. Think about it. Let's talk about some of these things. Right? Now, if you're working a job for a decent employer, you know that as long as you show up to do your work, every month you're going to get a certain amount of money. And you can begin to plan your life around your income. Most entrepreneurs don't have that luxury. Let's talk about that first of all. The second thing is, not only do you have that stability, but you have the opportunity to develop skills on certain other people's dime. Now, when I was working a job, some of the skills that I developed, among other things, I developed my coaching skills, I developed my consulting skills, I developed my facilitation skills, my training skills, working for an employer. Now, these skills have helped me to make hundreds of thousands of dollars, but I developed these skills on someone else's dime. I had an organization who I worked for. It was in their time, on their dime, that I developed these skills, I developed these capabilities that I've gone on to help me to build successful businesses. But I developed those skills at a time when I was working for someone else, working for an organization who was paying me to do something that I enjoyed and I was actually going to use in my own business later on. And so that's another beautiful thing that a job does for you. A job gives you the opportunity to develop and to maximize your skills on someone else's dime. And a third thing that a job does for you, which I said earlier on, is a job helps you to build your network, establish credibility, right? One of the things my job did for me is, because of my job, I was exposed to all sorts of people at very senior and executive levels. And when I left the organization that I was working for, I still had that networking place. I could still tap into that network to leverage that network to grow my business. You want us to be very, very careful that we don't become one of these people who knock jobs like jobs are a negative thing. And I see this a lot in the entrepreneurial world, where people keep going on as if it's a terrible thing to own a job or to do a job, and as if a job gets in the way of you being successful. That is far from the truth. It's not really the job that gets in the way of people being successful. It is people not having a good plan of how to leverage a job to help them get to where they want to be. Instead, they see the job as a thing that's getting in their way. And if they see the job as a thing that's getting in their way, they will not see the opportunity that is available within the job at the time they have the job. But jobs are great. So that's the key point I'm trying to make here, is a job is not a terrible thing. So if you're working a job right now while you're trying to build your coaching business, I don't want you to feel negative about your job. I want you to begin to look for the opportunities that are available for you in the place that you are right now and the job that you're doing. What skills can you learn? How can you extend your network? And how can you leverage the stability your job is giving you right now to start to take those entrepreneurial risks that you need to take in order to grow your business? The beautiful thing, again, I'll use myself as an example. When I was working 9 to 5, and actually when I was working in corporate, and before then, when I was working in an operational environment, I was able to take risks because I knew that even if I messed up, I was still going to get more money coming from my job the next month. It's not like a business where you think, you know what, if I mess up, I'm going to be messing with my money. The beautiful thing is, my money was my job. There was stability. And so I was able to take a lot of risks and have a lot of failures in the early days when I had the stability of a job, rather than being very anxious because if I fail now, I will not have any money next month, which is the reality for a lot of entrepreneurs who don't have the stability of a job. So your job is a blessing. Your job means you can take risks in your business without risking losing your home or risking your family going to bed with no meal because there's no money. And also, the job gives you an opportunity to develop new skills and to maximize the skills you have. And a job also gives you the opportunity to grow your network. So those are a few things here. I do want you to take away from this and begin to understand that your job is not your enemy. Okay, just ignore all these people who keep knocking jobs and making out like, a job's a terrible thing, a job's gonna, and that's just what I want to take away from this is stop knocking jobs. Jobs are great. However, if you're looking to build a business, there is a challenge that the job is taking up so much of your time. If it's a full-time job, then the job is taking up about 40 hours or so every week. So you've got limited time because your job takes up so much time, and then you need to spend some time with your family as well. So you've got to be there. If you're a parent, if you're a husband or a wife, you've got to be investing in your relationships with your family. If you have other commitments, I know some people, maybe you do church or any other things you're involved in, they're going to be taking up your attention as well. They're going to be taking up your time. What about your money? The reality is, a business would require some investment of money. That's the thing. A business, in spite of what a lot of people think, right? Yes, a business is an asset that you build. You build the business, and then the business starts to pay you. But usually in the early days, you're the one who is investing time. You're the one who is investing money, and you're the one who is investing energy into this business until it's mature enough to start paying you back. And so in the beginning, you will also have limited money that you would have to use to invest in growing your business. And then finally, there's your energy. And this is a very big one. I've actually come to realize that for part-time coaching business owners who have a full-time job and have a family and other commitments, I realize their biggest challenge is actually their energy. It's managing your energy. So, among other things, your job places a demand on you physically and mentally. So by the time you're done, you're fatigued, you're tired, you're exhausted. Sometimes even just the commute to work alone is so tasking. I remember when it used to take me 2 hours to get into work and 2 hours to get back. That's 4 hours on the road, hopping on trains and underground and on buses and having to walk as well. And I get home and I am shattered. That was my reality, and that's the reality for many of us who are looking to build a business. Is we need to invest time, we need to invest energy, we need to invest money in growing our businesses. And we already have other things in our lives, like our jobs and our families and these other commitments that are already placing a demand on our time and our energy and our money. So we have very little left to invest in our business. So the secret to building a successful part-time coaching business is learning how to maximize your limited resources, your time and your energy and your money. It's all about maximizing what you have. If you maximize what you have, then you significantly increase the likelihood of you building a successful part-time coaching business and then transitioning to where your business is now full-time. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to quickly break down a few things that you will need to do if you are going to build a successful part-time coaching business. I'm going to highlight these 5 different points, and then we're going to dive deep into one of them today. And in the next episode, we're going to then start to look at the others. So what are these ones? So number 1, you've got to set realistic goals. And that's the one we're going to dive into today. If you don't set realistic goals, basically you will set yourself up to fail. But what are realistic goals? Because that's a broad statement. We're going to dive into what realistic goals are. I'm going to help you understand what they are and how you can set them. And also you've got to look at maximizing your constrained resources. That's the second thing, right? The third thing is you need to structure your life properly. So I said earlier on that your resources are limited. So number two is we're going to look at how we can maximize these resources. And then number three, you want to structure your life properly. The reality is you now have a lot of things going on. You've got your family, you've got your job, you've got other commitments you may have, and now you have a business. And structure is really, really important to make sure none of these suffer. I'm going to help us understand what that structure looks like, not on this episode. We're going to look at this in another episode, but this is one of those things that needs to be in place. The next thing is you need to design a solid business foundation. You've got to lay a solid business foundation. If you don't lay the foundation properly, I'm telling you right now, your business will fail. And I'm going to break that down for you. I've seen too many really smart people who want to build a coaching business, but because they don't get the foundation right, it just fails. And I'm going to show you exactly what we need to do for that one. And then the next one is leveraging tech and leveraging people. Leveraging technology, leverage is critical. And there's two key things there. Number one is tech, and number two is people. With people, there's three elements to that. There's a team, there's your network, and there's your mentors. And I'll be diving into that in a subsequent episodes. And then the final bit is you've got to be focused, but also flexible. But the first thing we've got to do to get this right is you need to make sure you set realistic goals. If you don't do this, your business will fail. It's just that simple. If you don't set realistic goals, your business will fail. The big question is what are realistic goals? And what I'm going to do when we do come back is I'm going to really break this down for you, help you understand within the context of a coaching business. I'm sure you know what realistic goals are, but within the context of building a part-time coaching business, I'm not just going to give you the theory of what it is. By the time we come back and by the time we're through this episode, you would have been able to define and set your own realistic coaching business goal. All right? I'll see you in a short while. Are you a coach? Do you need to get paying clients consistently, but you don't want to waste countless hours trying to be famous on social media? Do you want a calendar full of appointments with quality prospects who want what you offer so you can convert premium clients month after month without stress? Now you can do just that when we help you implement the Predictable Profit Machine for Coaches, a business system that helps coaches consistently generate profits in their business. All you have to do is visit coachingbusinessmentor.show/machine. Watch the short explainer video and then go ahead and book an appointment. Let us help you build a predictable profit machine around your own coaching expertise so you can start earning predictable profits in your business month after month. Hey, welcome back to the Coaching Business Mentor. In this episode, we're looking at how to build a profitable coaching business around your job, your family, and your other commitments. And just before we went on the break, we talked about setting realistic goals and how this is the first step to actually building a successful coaching business is actually setting realistic goals. Now, let's talk about setting goals for a moment. And I want to go back to 2002 or thereabouts, when I just got started in direct sales network marketing. First time I'd ever come across the industry. Don't ask me why. I was quite new to the whole thing. The idea was fascinating to me. It was on this whole concept of you can become more successful by helping other people become successful. And because I was really passionate about helping people, the industry was very attractive to me. And I had these guys come in. They were millionaires from America who were flown into the UK. They were some of the top income earners with this company. It was called Excel Communications. If you're a certain age and maybe you're of an entrepreneurial background, you've probably heard of Excel Communications. I remember seeing all these millionaires on stage, one after the other, telling us about how they became successful in such a short period of time. And I was fascinated by these guys. I was inspired by them. And then I set this goal. I was going to become a millionaire in 6 months. And I believed it. Why? Because I was seeing all these guys on stage and I was inspired by their fascinating stories about how they were clueless and they just did one thing or another. And before you knew it, they were very, very successful. And these people, in today's parlance, they would be the guys who you're seeing on TikTok and on Facebook and on Instagram and on YouTube, who are bragging about how they've built these really amazing businesses, how it took them a short period of time, how they used to live in a trailer park, how they used to have to beg their mother for food and beg to live in their mother's houses because they were broke. And then they just discovered this super magic, amazing formula, and boom, life just changed for them. And now they're just raking in six figures every other day. Those kind of people, those were the types of people. That was my reality. And so I saw that, and then I set this goal. I was going to become a millionaire in 6 months. I was going to be earning six figures in the next 12 months. That was the sort of goal that I had. And can you blame me for having such a goal? I mean, that was what I was surrounded by. I didn't know what a realistic goal was. Because in order to sell the industry to me, they sold me the quite possible but very unlikely scenario. And I bought it. And a lot of people who are coming into the coaching business industry, unfortunately, we're exposed to a lot of that. We're exposed to people who are selling us these pipe dreams, because that's what I'm going to call them. And so we buy into this, and then we set these goals that actually, when you really sit down to think about it, they're not realistic. And I've had the privilege to speak to hundreds of coaches in the last few months, hundreds of coaches. And when I sit down with them and I ask them, what is your goal? Because how much are you hoping to achieve in the next 12 months? And something that I see consistently is six figures. 6 figures a month. I want people who want to be earning six figures, people who want to be earning $50,000 a month, people who want to be earning $100,000 a month within the next few months. And there's nothing wrong with that ambition, but it's comparing where they want to be to where they are now. And there's such a massive gap. And so that goal is unrealistic. The likelihood of it actually happening is highly remote. So I love goals like this because they do stretch you, right? They do get you to begin to see possibilities and begin to get excited about what the future potentially can hold. And that's great, because anything that can get you excited and motivate you is a good thing. The problem is, for every 1,000 hardworking, committed, talented, and heart-led coach who set this goal, who right now are working a full-time job, and the numbers, and these are based on stats, for every 1,000, about 999 of them will not hit this goal. And I'm not talking about daydreamers who don't work. I'm not talking about lazy bums. I'm talking about hardworking, committed, talented, heart-led coaches who set this kind of unrealistic goal. Only about 0.1% of them actually go on to achieve this goal. Why? The reality is, when you think about it, when you consider the fact that there's a lot of constraints, they have limited time because they have a lot of other commitments. They've got a full-time job, they've got a family, they've got other commitments. They have limited money to really build a business that big, because it does take a good investment of money to be able to be turning over that much money every month or every year. And also the effort it takes to launch and grow a business to six figures. And I know, because I've been there. It takes a fair bit of effort. And so when you consider how much time it takes, how much energy it takes, how much money, talk about your marketing budget, your operations budget, how much you need to be putting into your business, the reality is goals like this are unrealistic. And the likelihood of you hitting these goals are very, very low. I'm going to point something out very quickly. There's usually two types of people who sell you on these pipe dreams. Number one, people who want your money. And number two, people who are deceived and believe people who want your money. Let me put it to you this way. If you had a mentor like me, because I'm your coaching business mentor, your mentor cares about you, they will tell you the truth. I'm not trying to sell you stuff here. My objective here on this show is to help you succeed. And that's why you want to pay attention to what I'm saying and not that person who is trying to get you to buy whatever it is they're trying to sell to you. And they make it out like if you just get this magic pill, you would start earning six figures without doing everything, sipping pina colada on a beach and that sort of thing. The reality, though, is it doesn't happen like that. And then the second type of person who will be selling you on that is the person who's been inspired by the con man, who believes the con man, has probably spent their own money with the con man. They're not getting results, but they'll keep on hyping up the con man. And those are the two types of people who will sell this pipe dream to you. Why? Because they know that if you believe such a massive dream, then you will be willing to give them your money for their magic potion that they're trying to sell to you. That is the truth. And I'm going to put this out there right now. So you can understand this. I'm on a mission on this show, among other things. I want to take business away from these con men. And I'm just going to put this out there. Give me a moment to rant. Just give me a moment to rant. You know, we've been doing this for a few episodes. I haven't done any rants yet, but I'm going to do a rant now. There's a bunch of people who've come into our space, into the coaching space. They do see that there's people like you and I who are heart-led, who do what we do because we want to help people. We want to make a difference in people's lives, but we also want to get compensated well for the difference that we make. And so there's a lot of people out there in our space who see an opportunity, who use sleek marketing, who use deceptive marketing to try to seduce and convince and confuse people like you and I. So we would take our eye off the ball, believe in a false dream that they sell to us because they want to take our money from us. They don't care about me. They don't care about you. They don't care about helping you. They don't care about yourself and your dreams and your goals, because if they did, they would tell you the truth. But instead, they use deceptive marketing. Some of them blatantly lie, and they sell you a false dream. They take your money, and then you buy into the false dream, and then when it doesn't happen, not only do you lose money, because if it was just money, that's okay. But what happens is when you've invested so much of yourself into something because someone told you it was going to work, when it doesn't work, it can break you. And I've seen that happen so many times in this industry, and that's why I'm going to put this out there. When someone's saying to you, you're building a business, a coaching business around your job, your family, and other commitments, and they sell you this magic potion that's going to get you earning six figures in 6 months, 6 figures a month in 6 months, run. Run. They're a con person, and they're after your money. As soon as they get your money, they're moving on to the next victim. So make sure you are not their victim. It's really interesting because I'm just going to quickly put this out there. Now, with our predictable profits machine, I could have, because we've had people who've come onto the system and then within 6 weeks are doing well in their businesses. In spite of that, though, and this is the key thing, in spite of that, every time I'm sitting down with a potential client and they ask me, DJ, how long will it take? And I say to people, 6 months. And they say 6 months. I say, yes. The reality is there's a lot that needs to happen to get you to this point where it's really exciting. And yes, it has happened for some people in a lot less time, but realistically, for most people, it is 6 months. Now, some people are going to walk away from me because they want it in 6 days. And they're going to go to that merchant of the 6 figures a month in 3 months program and run after those people. I can't help them. But on this show, because I am your mentor, I will be honest with you and I will tell you the truth. You want to run away from these merchants who are selling you pipe dreams, who really are trying to entice and seduce you with a false dream. They will take your money and then they will break your heart. And that's happening so very much in this industry. And I will not keep quiet. This is my show. This is my opportunity. And if I'm just able to help one coach not make that mistake that so many other coaches make, then for me, that's job done. All right, good. That's my rant out of the way. Okay. A realistic goal for a coach working full time with their family commitments as well and other commitments, what does it look like? And I'm going to give you this, and this is one that you might want to write down. I'll put this in the podcast notes so you can copy it from there. A realistic goal for a coach would be to grow my business to the stage that I will be able to leave my job and focus on my business full time within 18 to 24 months. Let me say this again. This is a realistic goal. And I'm actually going to encourage you, if you are part-time, this is a good goal to write down. And because it's different from one person to another. Grow my coaching business to the stage that I'll be able to leave my job and focus on my business full-time within 18 to 24 months. Let me explain why this is a really good goal for you. First of all, it's a very stretching goal. It will place a demand on your resources. For you to achieve this, you will have to put a lot of time, energy, and money into this to achieve this goal. But the reality is, even though you need to put a lot, it can be done. As long as you are committed and you're not lazy, as long as you're hardworking, as long as you're smart and talented and committed, you can achieve this goal. It will take a lot out of you, just so you're aware. So this is not a lazy goal. This is a hard goal that is very stretching, but is very realistic. I guess the question then is, okay, DJ, so I want to grow my business to the point where I'm able to leave my job and focus on my business full-time in 18, 24 months. That makes sense, but what does that really look like in reality? Well, for you to be able to walk away from your job and build your business full-time in 18, 24 months, let me tell you what you need. You need two things primarily, and then we're good. And then the final thing is you need a plan. The first thing is you need a system. This is very, very important, that has brought in your current monthly income from your job minus business expenses for at least 6 months. Let me break down what this means. Let's say hypothetically that for you right now, your job pays you, for you to sustain your lifestyle, your job pays you $5,000 a month after tax. What you need is a business system that has been bringing in $5,000 a month minus expenses. So think about your operational expenses, think about your marketing expenses. So just imagine, let's go with $10,000. So let's say your business has brought in $10,000 a month for the last 6 months, but you have invested maybe $3,000 on marketing, $2,000 on operations. Therefore, you have $5,000 left. And you've done that consistently for 6 months. Now, this is really important. The thing is, entrepreneurs can have what I call breakthrough moments. And anyone who's been building a business for a while knows this, especially if you don't have a system. If you don't have a system, you can have 1 month where you make $10,000. And it seems like, whoa, everything seems so easy. And then the next month you make 2,000. The next month you make 1,000. You're thinking, oh my goodness. And the next month you make 500. And then the next month you make 8,000. That's a business that doesn't have a system. I'm talking about a system where over 6 months, you're generating your monthly salary plus expenses into your business. And you've done that for 6 months. Why is this important? Remember, your job gives you stability. Having a breakthrough month where you make $30,000 from your business is not a smart reason to leave your job, because it's not a business yet. You just had a good month. A business is about a predictable system that is consistently bringing money in for you. And that's what you need to have. So the 18 to 24 months we're talking about is actually to establish a business that is bringing revenue in consistently, predictably, because there's a system that's working for you. So first step is having a system that has brought in your current monthly income minus business expenses for at least 6 months. That's the first thing. The second thing you want to have is that first one is important. It's more important than the second. Having the second without the first, you don't yet have a business that you should be confident walking away from your job for. The second thing, which is important, but not as important as the first, is you need 3 months worth of your monthly income in savings. 3 months worth. Why just 3 months? Well, if you have a system that has been bringing in your monthly income minus expenses for 6 months, then when you leave your job to go full time, the system's not just going to flop. But let's just say something happens. You've got 3 months to reset your system, which should be enough time. Okay, so that's the reason. So the 3 months worth of monthly income is like insurance. Your business is that predictable system that's bringing money in month after month after month. I guess you can see right now that this is critical. This goal, this 18 to 24 month goal, is a more realistic goal. But it's a goal that is more sensible, and it's a goal that actually aligns with the future you desire for yourself, rather than just plucking this number out of the sky because it excites you, which is unfortunately what a lot of people do. So if you want to build a successful part-time coaching business around your job, your family, and other commitments, you definitely want to have a realistic goal. And I'll encourage you as your mentor to go with the goal that I shared with you. And I've shared with you the 2 things that need to be in place for you to be able to know that, yes, I have hit this goal. Once you've been able to do 6 months, earning your monthly income minus expenses, once you've been able to accumulate 3 months worth of your monthly salary and savings, then you're ready. That's when you're ready to say, boss, thank you very much for the time here, but it's time for me to move on to other things because I have a business in place and I have some insurance money for 3 months in case something goes wrong with the business. And that's pretty much it. That's the very, very first step for those of us who are looking to build a profitable coaching business around our jobs, family, and other commitments. Now, we've definitely come to the end of this episode. I'm just checking, and I'm going to have to continue in this. I have a lot to share with you. I've got a heart-led coach. I've got so much to really help you on the course of building this profitable business. On the next episode, we're going to be looking at how to maximize your constrained resources, so you're building that successful business. So that's your time and your energy and your money. I'm going to really break down how can you maximize your time when you have a job and a family and other commitments. How can you maximize your money? How can you maximize your energy? I'm going to be sharing with you a few practical things that you can do. No theory. It's things that you can do that are implementable, that you can start to implement in your business right now, helping you get to that place where you want to be. So make sure you look out for the next episode. I'm going to be breaking that down with you. But for now, I want to encourage you to go back and listen to this episode again, identify what the right goal is, set that realistic goal, and then be ready for what we're going to be discussing next week. My name is DJ Sabanjo. I am really glad that you sat through this, and I look forward to continue to be a big part of your success story. Enjoy the rest of your week and see you in the next episode. You have been listening to the Coaching Business Mentor podcast, the podcast focused on giving premium business advice to heart-led coaches, helping them get more clients, help more people, and make more money consistently. If you enjoyed this episode, I'd like to encourage you to do 3 things very quickly. Number 1, subscribe to this podcast. Number 2, I'd like you to leave a review about the podcast and how useful it was for you. And number 3, I would like you to share this podcast episode with 3 coaches who you know would benefit from this. Thank you so very much for listening. If you do want to follow me, you can find me on Instagram. It's DJ Sabanjo, and I look forward to continue to be a part of your success story. Let's keep on changing lives, and let's keep on making our world a better place and getting paid as we do so. This is DJ Sabanjo. See you on the next episode.